In this episode, we arrive in the North African country of Morocco and travel between Marrakesh and Tangier via the Atlas Mountains. This was one of our favourite countries of our trip around the world, full of amazing landscapes and beautiful culture, and we hope you enjoy watching it as much as we enjoyed riding it. We spent a couple of days at the start of our trip in Marrakesh and instantly fell in love with this bustling and vibrant city. We felt like we could have spent weeks here exploring, but soon it was time to get on our bikes and see what else Morocco had in store for us. We always enjoy finding our ways out of large cities on our bikes, and Marrakesh was definitely no exception to this. Through streets filled with donkeys and street carts, to small laneways and past local shopping bazaars, there was something interesting around every corner. Day one on the road in Morocco, got the Atlas Mountains to our right, and that's where we're headed. Be up there, pretty high elevation in a day or two, bit of snow on the tops, sun is shining, absolutely loving it so far. Our first couple of days involved a lot of climbing to get up into the mountains, but a combination of perfect weather and beautiful scenery kept us going, as well as plenty of chocolate bars and breaks to chat with locals. So we've just gotten up the first big climb, about 1,000 metres this morning of elevation. Pretty epic views up here, really nice landscapes. Snow-capped mountains up ahead. Looking forward to the downhill. Many of Morocco's roads have only been paved within the last few years, which means that they are extremely high quality and a lot of fun to zoom down the descents. The landscape changed quickly as we made our way over the mountain passes, changing between snow-filled grazing land and quite barren and dry red earth. It was often quite a stretch between the small towns, and many sections seemed very quiet and remote, only occasionally passing locals on donkeys or sometimes bikes. But everyone we did meet was super friendly, and we were loving this country so far.
Even though we've been riding uphill all day, it's just been such a nice day's riding. It's a really nice road to ride, there's a big shoulder, all the cars are giving waves and honks of encouragement. Weather's good, a little bit cold, but they are going up hills, keeping us warm, sun is shining, and it's just a great day out here.
And our day only got better as we descended an amazing downhill into a picturesque valley just past the town of Telouet, where we even crossed paths with the Atlas Mountain Race just as final riders reached checkpoint 1.
Pretty epic morning ride through this valley, just really nice little villages, red earth landscape. Big river down below.
This road was honestly one of the nicest we'd ridden in a long time. The combination of smooth pavement, no traffic and beautiful scenery made it feel like an absolute cycling paradise. We've travelled and ridden through many Muslim and Arab countries before, and always loved the friendly, welcoming culture and the genuine hospitality of the people. And here in Morocco was no different. It has such a peaceful feeling to it, and being here, riding through this landscape, we were so glad that we decided to include it on our route around the world. We often made an effort to get away from the main roads and into some of the smaller local villages to try get a glimpse of what life looked like for the people living here. As Westerners, we've become so used to the way things are done in our own countries that when we see people living off the land that surrounds them, we can't help but be impressed and in awe of the simple beauty of it. We'd chosen this route up into the mountains because of the landscapes it would show us, which meant that most days were full of climbing, but it was definitely worth every single hill.
A few switchbacks to finish the day. Whew, what a view. So we just got to this auberge that says it's open, but there's no one here and it's all locked up. It's about 1,000 metres of climbing to the next place that is possible to stay at, so we're just going to hang out and see if anyone turns up, and if they don't, we'll probably camp here anyway. So, lovely man turned up who owns the auberge, settled us in for a room, which we're pretty happy about because it's going to be probably below freezing tonight. Good room, pretty good price, great view. As you can see, plenty of switchbacks again today as we make our way uphill towards Tilmi. We got over 1,000 metres of climbing to do again, and it's getting pretty cold again, especially at night, so we'll probably try avoid camping and find somewhere nice and warm, maybe even with a fire. And yeah, still really nice. This road is super quiet now. We're past the Dades Gorge, less tourist traffic, so it's just good riding, nice and hilly. Yeah, lovely.
When we reached the top of the pass, we were at about 2,960 metres above sea level, and seeing as we were so close, we decided to have some fun and hike up to the highest point and make it an even 3,000. And while the descent down the other side was even more fun, it was absolutely freezing. When the sun wasn't out here, the temperature sat at around 5 degrees, which with wind chill made ice blocks of our hands and feet. So before long, we decided to stop when we found the perfect spot to warm ourselves up with a hot cup of coffee.
Had some fresh snowfall overnight. Can't see it here because we've dropped down a bit, but it is absolutely freezing today, hence the buff over the face. Nice quiet road though, just a few little farms around. Going up actually a bit more today, so it's probably going to get colder. Probably going to avoid camping again tonight.
Usually we try and camp as much as possible while touring, but we'd gotten a bit soft here in Morocco. Lured in by the cheap and hospitable gites, and due to big days of climbing and low overnight temperatures, we were usually looking for a warm, comfortable bed at the end of the day. At around $20 for 2 people per night, they're great value and often include a simple breakfast of omelettes and bread. There was the odd occasion to get the tent out though, when we either couldn't reach anywhere that had accommodation or just decided that it was about time we camped again. We'd heard some stories of people being moved on by police because they thought it wasn't safe for foreigners to be wild camping here. So we found it most comfortable to ask locals if they had or knew of a place that would be okay for us to set up our tent, which often led to pretty interesting interactions.
So after just battling pretty fierce headwinds for the last couple of hours, we decided to get off the road and we pulled into this farm and just asked the guys working here if it was okay if we set up our tent for the night, and they were more than happy for us to. And they showed us a good place to put our tent, and also showed us all their horses, and they must have hundreds of horses here on this farm, as well as cattle and all sorts of things, and it's a great little spot that we'll be spending the night. So we just left Canifra this morning, where we had a couple of days off, which was a good place to have a couple of days off because there was a lot of good food there and some cheap accommodation to hang out in. And now we're just back into a few hills, but we're out of the mountains, so the hills aren't as big and the landscape is much greener, and the sun has come out after a few days of rain while we're off the bikes, so all is good. Yeah.
The landscape once we were out of the mountains had once again changed dramatically, becoming so flat that we could see for miles in all directions. Everything here seemed much more spread out, meaning much greater distances between towns and longer days on the bikes. So after a big day on the bikes, we pulled into a little town and asked around if there was anywhere to sleep, and we found ourselves here in an old schoolhouse which is converted with bunks and stuff upstairs because some guys said we could sleep here, so always end up in some weird places, and this is us for tonight. So we didn't really know where they were bringing us when they walked us through town and said that, yep, they've got a place, perfect place for us to stay. You know, with us not speaking much French or Arabic, we didn't really know what was going on. But we turned up here and there's just these bunks everywhere. So I don't really know what this place is. They said it is an old school, that's what we gathered, but perfect for us for the night. So a bit of a plot twist this morning. Apparently we got it a bit wrong. It's not an abandoned school, it's an active school, and kids have just started turning up ready to come in those doors this morning. Overnight, as well as being given a place to stay in the school, we were also brought a hot dinner of traditional Moroccan food. It's experiences of kindness like these that make us love travelling in this way, and prove to us that the world really is a wonderful place, full of good-hearted people. We were now making our way towards the port city of Tangiers, and the end of our time in Morocco. This was the 34th country we'd cycled through on our trip around the world. Definitely one of our highlights, and somewhere we'd recommend trying out for yourselves. We now continue our journey up into Spain, so if you've enjoyed this video and want to follow along, please like and subscribe to this channel, go back and check out some of our other videos, and find us on Instagram at We Ride Bikes Places.